been kind of learning the routes as it goes, so we're gonna see a lot of different things, and they're off.
Right now, we don't actually have like a solid "this is the quickest route" because it's changing so often.
Yeah, and the theoretical fastest route is really, really, really hard with a trick called early hookshot, which we'll get to later. It involves a couple of really disgusting things to do, including a Zora bump, which I'm really upset that exists because it's really, really hard.
I'm thinking we're going to see at least 3 of these 4 runners go for early hookshot.
I'm pretty sure that it's probably going to be all of them, just because. But we're seeing at least the first part of the game is pretty much the same. Ooh, Noad doing the old early sword strat. He doesn't want to go for the damage boost off the spiny, which is faster, but I think like 44 frames or something like that.
Dude, Node's gonna win. He's used the best route.
But it's so much easier to set up. Spice actually getting a little bit ahead with that. But yeah, that saves like no time. You take a half heart of damage. So here's RNG.
I the Node route.
We got RNG now. So they need 10 rupees.
So they're also going to be trying to do something which is called item duping, and they're going to be duping it on the rupees. They're not allowed to do it on seashells. They're allowed to do it on rupees, where if they hold out their shield at the same frame that they collect the rupee, they get double rupees.
Spice got all 10. So that's going to give him quite a lead against No. Oh, okay, No got lucky, finding his next 2 rupees. Sometimes you get no rupees on that screen, and it sucks. But so we need 10 rupees, not to buy the shovel. We don't buy things. Buying is for quitters.
Bombs, if I recall correctly.
As oh man, GreenTunic is just having the best rupee luck right now.
This is usually the point where if they're not doing a marathon or a race, they would be restarting right now.
And so I think PikaPals forgot what he was doing for a minute because he stole the shovel and then just didn't go back in to die. So we need the rupees to buy the bombs, but when you buy the bombs, you can buffer a save and quit. And then you don't actually give the shopkeeper any money. So, despite buying something from him, we haven't paid him for anything. And we've stolen 1,190 rupees worth of goods from him. So, we are terrible people and will be renamed Thief for the rest of the race. And, Trendy Game. Tell him how Trendy Game works.
Okay, so Trendy Game, we're skipping Yoshi because of stuff we do later with the trade sequence. We'll talk more about that. Is there really any explaining for Trendy?
No, I just want.
So it's basically muscle memory at this point for everyone. You enter the room, you sort of delay a little bit, you talk to the guy, and then you position the thing on the top left and wait for the powder.
There's technically, you can get it without delaying, but if you accidentally mess up, you waste a ton of time because you don't have your 10 rupees anymore, so it's not worth it to go because it doesn't really save any time. So you're gonna see them all enter the doghouse next to Madame Meow Meow. They're gonna get a seashell in there, and because of the way save and quits work, and so I guess we're gonna. The way save and quits, they're gonna get that tail key, which Node just grabbed, save and quit, warp back there, and skip an owl. So now that everybody else is getting up to the part where Node was, because Node is going real fast.
So, yeah, we skipped Node a bit there. So what you can see Spicefather doing is a bomb trigger, which if you place bombs on alternate frames, which is normally impossible, you skip stuff on screens. Now, the way Spice did that is that he used a screen transition to do that. You can also do that on a pit, which we might see in D7.
Yeah, basically, it tries to play 2 animations at once, but one of the bombs isn't there anymore. So it plays the next animation in the list, which happens to be the cutscene of the dungeon. So, or of whatever's on the screen. So in that case, it was Raccoon Terran turning back into normal without having to use the powder and having him bounce around all silly. So we got D1 now. pretty straightforward dungeon, where we get the best item in the game. But
what, the mirror shield?
Yeah, the mirror shield. That's what we get.
Yeah, we get the mirror shield in D1.
Yeah, this isn't Rando Cravone. Don't know. Sometimes I watch this.
Well, I mean, I'd argue the shield is the most important item in the game. You can't really do much without it.
That's true. You can't get.
You start the game, if you haven't got shield, you can't do anything.
What about Doghouse Warps?
You can do that, but that's not allowed. That's wrong warping. Oh yeah, we should explain the rules of the category. So out of bounds and wrong warp are not allowed. We've got a really complicated definition for out of bounds.
It's
too much to explain. Yeah.
The simple way to look at it is, as Noad does a super jump, you can clip into a wall, but only 3 pixels, and you can't transition on a solid tile, where a solid tile is anything that looks like a tile and definitely isn't the menu screen. Which will be relevant later.
That definitely isn't the menu screen. That's just added in there because I kept arguing that Villa Skip is out of bounds.
Because you're a terrible person. So, Noad is approaching the first spot, as GreenTunic is going for it, a super jump. So you clip in 3 pixels into a wall, you jump against the wall. There's a couple ways to do it, and you either use the bow, the sword, or the magic rod, and you'll just kind of perform a cliff jump, but also from where you were, so you get some good distance, and you'll just kind of jump over tiles, which is great. And it saves a lot of time over the course of this run. Otherwise you get to go all the way around.
Noad actually had a pretty bad mold on there.
It doesn't look like Spice is having any better.
Same with Spice.
So, optimal strategy is to kind of hit him the second you can see his tail. There are a couple ways to do it. You can try and do like spin slashes, because that does do 2 damage to Moldorm. Pika having a pretty good Moldorm. He only missed 1 hit. But GreenTunic has regained time on him. I missed how that happened. GreenTunic having a really fast E1 there.
It's important to remember, though, that GreenTunic is racing Pika. He's not racing Noad.
That's true. So he is ahead of Pika now. Which, oh, maybe all the timers got synced up when I wasn't looking.
Maybe.
That's just what happened, because all the timers are in sync, which is great.
So, Noad is not sure what that rupee chest for. I guess that's some sync up for later for Frog Song.
I think that's part of the new route that they did. So they need 300 rupees by the time they go and get Frog Song of the Soul. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. There's like new ways of doing it by saving and quitting and hard resetting to reset rupees that spawn in the color dungeon. This is where, if people are doing different routes, we're going to start seeing divergences pretty much after this hard container.
So, with that super jump that you can see Spice about to do, we basically skip the need to have the bracelet in there. Otherwise, we'd have to come back here after Dungeon 2.
Which is no fun, because there's nothing cool over here at that time.
Some say there's a route where you do it after Dungeon 8, but still.
I mean, that's you.
That's me, yeah.
He's having some problems with the super jump. They're sometimes finicky, and it looks like he's soft locked.
That's
a shame.
So he was too much to the right. He needs to be a bit more to the left.
Yeah, he needed to be more to the left, and I think so. You can get different distances on your super jump depending on when you do it. It's hard. That time you get it perfect. When you did it right at the apex, you get the most distance there. So you can kind of do it short, which is important for D7.
So you'll see Spicefather and GreenTunic are talking to the mouse. Now, the reason why they're doing this now, it's important that they do this now, because once they have Bow Wow, they cannot talk to the mouse until they hand back Bow Wow. You can't do it if you got a follower, and this is the only time they're going to be passing through here, where it's going to be convenient to get. And there's going to be pictures, there's going to be pictures after D2 that they're going to be getting.
Otherwise, he's got to return it after D2, which I think Noad got it. So Noad is now doing a trick called Flock Clip. where if you and now he's gonna get trolled by Bow Wow, but
fake heat.
so you clip into the wall a little bit, and you jump at something that creates text like a pot or a rock that basically say, "Oh, these are too heavy. If only I had something to help me lift it." And during that, you can kind of wedge yourself into the corner, and then you just kind of clip through diagonals like that. And then you wait to enter D2 when Bow Wow decides that you're allowed to enter D2 by just eating. I think I remember Node saying he had a specific setup where he eats a specific enemy so he doesn't get early eat, but he got a fake eat there, so kind of sucks.
So Alpha, why is it that they're skipping this heart piece?
So that is in most categories the heart piece of shame. You just kind of jump over it, and another reason why they're skipping it because it doesn't lose them. I think
it doesn't lose them any time.
I think it technically Saga said it saves like frames if you get it on the way out because you sort of slide down if you pick it up from the top. This is Sagas' reasoning, so this could be totally wrong.
I think it's right. It just looks hilarious to see them avoiding something that is required in the route.
Another reason why Sagas explained that they do that is so they don't want fake gold. So if they get it like on one and then they get it on another, their PV is like their sum of bests is wrong, which is relevant to a later one. So while I was talking about that, Spice is doing a despawn on the ghosts using the arrow. Node did it with a sword, which is slower. But you basically jump over them and shoot them off the screen, and when they leave the screen, they're dead. So, as we're going to see GreenTunic go for it, also with the bow. Node conserving arrows, or maybe just not confident. That is much trickier than it looks.
I want to say in 100%, unlike the normal category we run, like 100% isn't as tight on resources, I feel. Like it might be tight sort of towards the middle, but as soon as you get those item upgrades, you forget about resources, honestly.
And you know what? I remember seeing something that there was an argument as to whether or not you could do bomb or and Pika missing, he wastes an arrow there, but I think Node also sometimes takes bomb first, depending on how many arrows he has, because the arrow count will work just until he doesn't need them anymore. And it might be relevant because they don't necessarily need arrows for D5 anymore. So, we're gonna find out. So the Genie wakes up, laughs at you because you can't hurt him while he's in his bottle. Throws 8 fireballs off at you. Then you throw his bottle into a corner because corners are infinitely stronger than any other wall. His bottle breaks immediately, and oh no, Spice missed the bomb. So you wanna hit him with a bomb and a bomb arrow at the same time, and he dies instantly. Spice missing the bomb, so he doesn't hit the bomb arrow, but that's not a big deal in this category. Because again, you have a lot of arrows and bombs with the item upgrades.
So, yeah. So the reason why that works, the breaking the wall, is that they're basically wall clipping. Because the corner allows you to wall clip. It's not that the corner's OP, well it kind of is, but the corner's OP because it allows you to wall clip. And if you're throwing him whilst you wall clip, the game sort of thinks that he's in a wall, so it automatically breaks.
Yeah, so what Node is doing after D2, he's going over, like, just walking to that screen and saving and quitting, which might seem strange, but he's going over there and saving and quitting because he picked up that warp to D4, and that's really important. So yeah, you can see he moves down a little bit in the cutscene, so saves however much movement that pixel is, technically.
It's like one of the 2 changes between the 2 any % routes.
Yeah, so we're gonna see.
So I think we're gonna see some divergence here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of it.
So this is when seashell routing starts getting weird, and let's see.
Because everyone prefers different seashells.
Yeah, and okay. So Node picking up the arrow upgrade. That's the. Oh wait, no, hang on. Bomb upgrade. Bomb upgrade is second option. So he has more bombs than anyone could reasonably need, unless they mess up bomb triggers so many times in a row. But so we're gonna see some weird seashell stuff right after where everyone picks up this item upgrade and gets the warp. I think Noda's probably gonna go down here. That's the new route. Yes,
okay, divergence
down.
because Spice is going down. Node went up and then to the witch.
Node went and got the seashell first as well.
Alright, okay, so
they are so far doing the same route.
Spice hasn't caught up that much then.
Yeah. No.
Looks like GreenTunic's doing the same thing.
GreenTunic's doing the same, and Pika's just going for his bomb upgrade, so we don't know yet. Okay, so it looks like Node and Spice are on the same seashell routing. Which is cool because then we'll get to see level 2 sword a lot, which is great. Opening that door up there for later. We'll have to head back into that room anyway, so... get to head back there anyway, so it's just nice to open it now, so we can save a menu for later. And I didn't see what Pika grabbed for his upgrade. I'm assuming it's bombs.
I just saw them discuss a randomizer tournament in chat.
Oh,
we need more than we need more than 3 runners for that.
I guess I could start randoming again. Notice picking up the Richard picture.
Spice as well.
Yeah, Spice as well. If they don't pick that up before they clear D3, they can't get that, and it feels really bad.
It's basically game over at that point because that's required for the 100%.
So another reason why they went down to grab that seemingly out of the way seashell was so that they had 5 seashells when they hit here, and that lets them get another. Node got the frame perfect saving quit, so you could skip the animation there. That's something that just got added like a week ago. It's not frame perfect; it wastes some time, but it's still fast.
I mean, there's a good. Okay, so actually, something I'll explain. So you'll notice they're actually saving quit in the Seashell Mansion. And normally what save and quit does, it returns you to the entrance you last went into, unless it's a 2D section, and the Seashell Mansion is classed as a 2D section. There's a few of these in the game. The Fishman, which we'll see later with Bomb Trigger, is one of them. So yeah, they're allowed to save and quit, and it will return them back to that phone booth.
Node was trying to do fast escape there. Oh, and right, so now we get to go through the backside of Richard's house to grab another seashell. That's another route divergence. Basically to make sure you can get 2 gifts from the seashell house.
We didn't explain Villa Skip.
Yeah,
there's too much going on.
Well, yeah, there's so much. Yeah, because you were going on through that. So Villa Skip. Now you don't have to do Villa Escape. That's so much better. Hunter's great. Villa Escape's really hard. You have to clip yourself between a pit and like grass in the transition, and everything hurts.
It's pixel perfect.
Yeah, so you can see GreenTunic doing Villa Skip right now. What you do is you jump onto that pit at the bottom and you start buffering pause frames. And while you're doing that, basically when the game is supposed to drop you into the pit, if you're pause buffering, it pushes you down, and if you do it, there's an audio cue for it. You'll hear Blink falling down, but you'll be paused, and you'll also, if you look at it, if you're not playing with sound, you can see his foot has moved down onto, like, your A button. Then you've gotten the skip, and you can just go down, and because you're transitioning onto a bunch of grass, then you just kind of jump over it, and that doesn't violate our out-of-bounds rules, because technically you're not transitioning onto non-accessible tiles.
So, shall we explain the Jesus jump that GreenTunic spell do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a frame when you land on water without the flippers where you're actually able to put an input. Now, because he's against the wall, he can actually go into the screen transition by inputting left. You can also Jesus jump by using the feather to do exactly the same thing, but obviously jump. Now, he uses the save and quit menu because that actually makes Link respawn. Because you basically entered the screen on a water tile, so you get returned there. So, using the save and quit menu, you can actually buffer a jump out of that.
Yeah, which is very useful.
We also got a question chat about minips, save minips. No, there's none of that in Link's Awakening.
Yeah. They're technically, it does reset something called the piece of power counter, but that's something you're entirely controlled of. There's no manipulation in this, which is why I like it more than the Oracle games.
Actually, depending on the route they use, whether they do Dungeon 8 before Dungeon 7, which I don't think anyone does, there is a quick kill on the Dungeon 7 boss that is possible if you have save and quit at some point in the game.
Oh, yeah, that is something that's true. If you save and quit, and I don't think it even matters, because you can do it with hookshot now. So we're gonna see the quick kill from everybody.
I still don't know how to do that. I need to learn how to do that.
It's so much easier when it was just that, so... Spice is entering the Slime Eye, which is Link's Awakening's version of Vitreous, because this was originally supposed to be a Link to the Past on the Game Boy Color. So he's got Piece of Power. Piece of Power doubles your damage and adds knockback to your sword, but it makes Vitreous fight go exactly like that. You split them open, hit both eyes once for 2 damage, bonk yourself against the wall, hold your sword out, and they just fall on it. And it's great. And PikaPals just did a Dodongo skip. And
so,
GreenTunic just did it for the second time. So what you do is you do a super jump off that wall by holding your sword out, and while you're holding it out and charging it, you can do a super jump, doing a spin slash in the air, clanking off the Dodongo, and throwing yourself over that block. Which is really hard to do, and you can soft lock yourself in that block like happened earlier to PikaPals, but fortunately in this category, because you're allowed to save and quit, doesn't completely ruin your run, unlike the main category for this game, which I don't think anybody's running right now, because it's all hundo currently.
I have not seen someone run the main category for months.
Yeah, it's all memes now. That's what is...
This is the main category now, is hundo.
So Spice didn't open that earlier. All the other runners, and I miss Spice doing it, opened that with a bomb arrow because it saves a menu, but he went boots bombs anyway. Not too terrible. Just to pick up this heart piece in here. And then, so you're gonna see them pick up in the next screen, they're gonna talk to Terran, and he's gonna give them... Link is going to give him a stick that you never picked up. The game is programmed in a way such that you can't be there without the sticks, so if you do everything normally, the game just assumes that you have it. And because of that, you can just start the trade sequence at the honeycomb and he gets the swag reverse bonk.
Now, fun fact, the only reason why they need to get the stick, because there's tech they could use otherwise, the only reason are the pictures that you need Marin for. Because you need to be able to talk to the bear in Animal Village with the honeycomb. If you don't talk to him, Marin won't ever spawn on the beach. So you need her to spawn on the beach to be able to pick up some of the pictures. You see Spice going for his... he's got 10 seashells, so he's going for his 11th one now. So you can actually get 2 seashells in the Seashell Mansion, 1 at 5, 1 at 10. There's none at 15, unfortunately.
I mean, you could technically get infinite seashells from the Seashell Mansion, but that's
that's not allowed.
So yeah, we talk to this bear. He trades us a honeycomb for this pineapple. The pineapple is going to later be exploded into a fishing lure. Because that's how pineapples work. But now that we've cleared Dungeon 3, we're gonna go back to Mabe Village, pick up an item that just makes all menuing great, and pick up some pictures.
Oh, well. You mean the Ocarina? I thought you meant Marin.
Oh, no, Marin, everything is great.
Yeah, we're picking up 2 items here. We're picking up Ocarina and we're picking up Marin.
That's sexist.
Well, no, okay, my argument is that he holds Marin above his head like an item.
You're not wrong.
I mean, chat will see exactly what I mean.
Oh, right. For some reason, I'm like, and then he's gonna do some weird super jumps into Dream Shrine, but there's nothing in that other chest other than rupees.
Yeah. Well, some of them might do that for their rupee route, but I guess there's no point with Dungeon 5 the way it is.
Yeah, Dungeon 5 and the trick with Color Dungeon, which I know that we've seen the same route from everyone so far, so this has been at least easier to keep track of. So we're gonna fish the pond now. Oh damn, Node.
Oh
Get
damn,
it together,
missed
man.
one. God damn it.
Get it together, man. And okay, looks like he's going for this big.
Right, let's hope he does better this time. Oh, okay, he got this one. Yeah. So we should maybe explain.
So fishing the pond. So that fish, the second fish you picked up has a heart container in it. Unfortunately, that first fish is in the way, and it actually saves time to catch it and let it swim off screen than it is to try to dodge it by like a lot. So we just let it get away, and then we catch this fish. And the reason we're doing this now is we currently have 3 pieces of heart. So because we're in this, the animation for getting the heart container and the extra heart doesn't play, so we save some extra time there. And it also just happens to kind of just be conveniently in the way. It all lines up like that. It's really nice.
So they're returning Bow Wow and getting the picture of shame, which we referred to it. So they're getting the Bow Wow picture. You can only get the Bow Wow picture once Bow Wow is in front of the house. So either before or after he's been dognapped.
And Node bonking into a tree.
Ryra picture.
Node bonking himself into a tree that's way out of the way, and sure expected to find that as a kid, I bet, because you're definitely there with boots. There are 26 secret seashells, 24 that don't require the seashell gifts, I believe. So
it's pretty mad that that is one of the quickest seashells.
Yeah, it's because you have to go down here anyway to get Marin. So
right. So fun fact: did you know if you look at Node's screen, those seagulls? They're actually RNG, their movement patterns.
Yep.
I think everyone does. Everyone does.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Sometimes they can just all leave. Just hide behind the text box. I've gotten like...
There's kind of a meme, the RNG seagulls. So, actually, save and quit on that chest. I didn't know you can save and quit with Marin, if I'm gonna be honest.
I'm pretty sure that this is something that, like, all these save and quit things that they've done recently are, like, very new. The one with the bear, I didn't actually pay attention if Node went for it with the bear. You can save and quit and save 11 frames. Yeah, that's... probably didn't go for it.
Yeah, so Node getting 2 of the 3 Marin pictures so far.
Bet you also knew that this picture existed as a kid.
Yeah, the one on the beach is just really, really out of the way.
I think if I remember, like, if you run around with Marin a lot, she, like, maybe mentions it, or if you talk to her or something like that. A GreenTunic getting the swag talk to Marin as he's trying to lift something. Just completely ignoring her.
I don't know if she ever mentions the well. Or this. You also need Marin for this. So this is 3 out of 3 Marin pictures now.
Yeah, this one's at least easier to bonk into.
Spice and Node are neck and neck. Has Spice actually caught up, or has he done... Has he maybe done less?
I think Spice didn't do the shore picture yet. Because you have to do a bunch of saving and quitting here. Yeah, he didn't do the shore picture.
Okay, he didn't do the shore picture.
So, yeah, you can go to the right, you can go down first. Doesn't actually matter, although... I would say that going to the right first is faster, just because you just are going right anyway.
So, Node at the start of this run had a massive advantage, but that's really not increased at all. Like, this advantage he's got is sort of remaining.
He had a really bad Villa skip. So now we're gonna do, I don't know what to call it, skipless walrus skip, where you skip walrus, but you don't actually have to.
You skip walrus even though you have Marin.
So, doing a sideways walrus skip here saves a lot of time because normally you go over to the walrus, you talk to it, Marin starts singing in the middle of the screen, a bunny rabbit comes and drags her off to wherever she needs to be. But if you do a bomb trigger, it starts the cutscene there, and Marin is there, and you regain movement of Link once Marin leaves the screen. So it saves probably like 2 seconds because she just leaves, and the bunny rabbit evaporates because that's what bunnies do. They just vanish.
It depends how quick your setup this is, whether it's quicker or not.
Yeah. I don't know. Sideways walrus skip has always been way easier. So did you know picking up a heart piece is a cutscene? As we can just bomb trigger, do a menu, and then yeah.
This bomb trigger actually makes walrus skip worth it. Because you lose a menu to do the walrus skip, but you basically save a menu here by bomb triggering that heart piece.
Otherwise, it's a wash. So
you can also bomb trigger parts of the trade sequence.
So
did you know you
gonna fight Lammola? That fight happened, and he's gonna fall into a pit for another thing that Nintendo expected you to find as a kid.
I mean, they're basically expecting you to clink along all the walls in the entire game with the sword.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's at least nice in, like, the Oracle's games, they, like, look different, or maybe
these ones don't even have cracks in. It's like, some of them have cracks in, but these ones just don't.
Yeah, no. Maybe it looks different in Link's Awakening, and, like, if you're on, like, a color, like, the palette's slightly different.
It doesn't. Link's Awakening looks even worse.
Oh my god.
So, become the seashell in desert.
Yeah. So Lammola's hitbox is you're never gonna see Lammola. It spawns before he starts moving, so if you just shoot it with arrows, he dies. And yeah, seashell in the desert, kind of out of the way, but it just happens to be there. And yeah.
Okay, so we're getting Marin's song. Now let's see what happens after this. This is the divergence. This is the divergence point where some people will go like D4, I guess. Some people D6. Some people maybe going for early hookshot. No, I guess.
No, because they don't have flippers yet.
Oh, they don't have. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and they gotta do D4.
You don't need flippers for early hookshot.
I mean, no, but it's so slow if you don't have flippers. I mean, maybe if you're tassing and you can just, instead of flippering, you just across the water.
I forgot that the fishman exists. My bad. So, interesting PikaPals doing a top-down bomb trigger on the walrus.
Yeah, that's something that, I think he's just more comfortable with that from, the 90% route, because that was the, Until Bamboo showed off Sideways, which is how I learned it at JDQ a year ago, I think it was. That was how a lot of people did it, and it's way harder, and has, like, soft lock potential in the 90% category, or the, no scoobing, saving quit, wrong warp, out of bounds, none of that. And Sideways is just, you just bonk against the wall and then bomb trigger, and you don't have to worry about anything. The guys were like, pay attention to Link's head pixel.
Me and Vlak were the first people that did Sideways.
Okay.
Like, back when bomb triggers were first found, I always started doing Sideways.
Yeah,
even after that top-down method was found.
Okay, but no, just got the most important trick in the game. Obstacle skip. It saves
4 minutes.
It saves minutes. Yeah, it saves frames if you get it, and you lose a second if you miss. And no, it is
going for. Oh my! Is he actually? He's actually going for Berkey. This is brave going.
Berkey. Rooster skip isn't allowed, which I really wish wasn't the case.
Actually, you could technically do it now. I didn't know if it was going for Berkey or not.
It's out of bounds, and he doesn't have hookshot. I mean, it's gonna be so slow if you buffered all the way down there.
Yes.
But anyway, so he's gonna go grab the seashell up there, so he has a good number as he will pass by the seashell house again with 20. Saving quits, ends up next to PikaPal, and is gonna move on to D4. That's one of the more recent ones, but it's nice that we get a bunch of Jesus jumps. Jesus jumps are my favorite trick in the game. They're really cool. And we didn't like showcase any of them before probably like 6 months ago. Like they just weren't used in any runs, and then
in the main category there's exactly one.
Yeah.
And that's only to get a wall clip.
Yeah, but it's a lot of Jesus jump. Well, there's a Jesus jump in here, and then there's a Jesus jump to get into D6 early.
Well, okay, yeah, the main category now there is.
Yeah. So they want to transition here and splash in the water, and then have to save and quit to get through it, where Node just was, because otherwise if you transition on a water tile, it will push you down 4 tiles if you're against the wall, and that's out of bounds, or 4 pixels. So here's this room. Not the best pattern for Node. That's just a fun thing that room is just kind of different. Well, it's just because I've been playing rando and it's not.
So, we actually have to get the ghost in this because he has a picture. In the normal category, we'll just skip the ghost, but in this, we can't skip the ghost.
Okay, so there's another super jump by Node. Really neat super jump into holding your sword out so you clank against that P-hat, and it will push you down, and you don't have to do this long, silly swimming section to get to the boss key. And Cravone, tell me why this boss is hard.
Because you can't hook shot down if you end up missing the heart piece. But the thing is, they don't have hook shots, so...
Anglerfish is Cravone's hardest boss in the game.
I said this in the Discord, you were going to bring it up.
Of course I would. I'm casting with you. There's only so many things I can make fun of you for, and the other thing is coming up at the end of the run.
I mean, there's quite a lot you can make fun of.
Yeah, but I have to talk about other things, and there's nothing to talk about there except, look, it's Anglerfish, it's dead.
It's the second easiest boss in the game.
Yo, but second best song now, as we learn how to airwalk. Oh man, Node got the swag, Bombo get.
I want to vote in chat. Which boss is harder, Anglerfish or Facade?
Can we include your ROM hack?
No, we can't.
Oh, okay,
because like, no one's seen Facade on the ROM hack.
The Facade in your ROM hack is easy. I soft lock on your Anglerfish. It pushed me into the spikes in the floor and I couldn't go up.
Good. Oh, GreenTunic wasting a lot of time trying to go for the swag.
Yeah, Spicefather got it, which, yeah, there's a really swag way to do it. It saves you a menu, but it's impossible.
It saves you a menu, but it's impossible.
Yeah. It's so hard to do. It's really neat, though. That's another new thing. There's so much new tech that just showed up in this game just over the past 6 months. It's really cool.
Oh no, that's not what I think it is from Bamboo.
From what?
Bamboo posted a link in the chat.
Oh,
that's not what I think it is.
I really hope it's you fighting.
It is probably. So okay, so you see this ghost following Node. So he's actually required for one of the pictures. So we have to return him to his home, which is on the it's on the beach, and then we have to return him to his graveyard in the cemetery.
Pretty sure it's her. You see the little like bows on top of the ears? And, so this is
I don't know.
Blow up the pineapple, turns it into a fishing hook.
Yeah.
And then the pineapple is strong enough to hook a bra that was stuck somewhere in the ocean. And yeah, I'm pretty sure in the manga they made this game it was a dude, but I don't know. It looks like a girl.
They made a manga for this game?
They made a manga of all the original Zeldas.
It doesn't surprise me, honestly, actually.
Like, all of the old ones. The Four Swords one is lit.
So, we're coming up to the most... Well...
No, please! He's trying so hard to get this menu. You have to wait until she starts diving, and then you can save and quit out of there. The number of times that he did...
That was a waste of time.
I think it was a waste of time.
So,
but if you get it perfect, it saves time.
This is the worst part of this entire run to do.
It was garbage.
Okay.
So...
You want to explain it?
So... The goal of this is to bonk off of this Zora somehow, and clip yourself into the wall so you can do a super jump. And so, Node he failed the first setup, but he got the backup. And so now he's gonna super jump over to the other side to get the magnifying lens earlier than hookshot. And this is really important because the magnifying lens allows us to trade our shovel for boomerang. And that boomerang allows us to get hookshot early, skipping the entirety of the worst dungeon in the game. So...
Yeah, this... Honestly, this one trick, like, you don't see the end of this until, like, minutes later.
Yeah.
The effects of this are huge.
Yeah, the original strategy for this, which is 100% consistent, I believe included... hang on, let's think. I think it was like 27 buffers total. It was like 11 pause menus and 16, like, map menus or something, or in the other order. And
it was still probably quicker.
And it was still over a minute faster than the old route. And now there's Zora bonking, so if you take it that every menu or whatever, say, wastes 2 seconds, we've saved like 2 minutes with that trick if you get it first try or something like that.
So, let's see how Spice gets it. So, well, when people think of like the biggest tricks in this game, they always think of Rooster Skip. This trick is more spectacular than Rooster Skip.
Spice is doing the old one, which was the what I just described, all of the pause buffers and everything, and now I'm actually worried about that Zora spawn. He should be okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the timing on this one.
As long as he slashes his sword, this is consistent. Or, well, he shouldn't be... Yeah, okay, he's fine. Oh no, he missed the super jump! Oh no.
Also,
he missed the super jump.
The worst thing that could happen as well is that he could also get stuck in the wall on the left. Which, it's not guaranteed you're going to be able to boot yourself out of.
Yeah, and then you just go again.
So, GreenTunic's gone through it. GreenTunic's now getting the Fisherman picture, which Spice already has. He did that before.
I don't think GreenTunic is doing early hookshot, just based on his routing.
I'm not sure. He still could. He's in the position where we're going to see in the next few seconds. So, Node's already got the boomerang in the cave. So, he's traded his shovel. We don't need a shovel anymore.
Yeah.
We've gone all the shovel seashells.
Yeah, better fast anyway.
So here we are seeing a change in the route. GreenTunic, I presume, is going to D5 now. Actually, no, he's going to return the... He's going to return the ghost. I forgot how this game works.
Yes. So the ghost gives you a really obnoxious text box, and actually, because Spice has had this ghost for so long and has lost a ton of time to this trick, and actually he got the Zorabonk there, so he might be good. Try boots.
Oh.
I think that's short though. Nope, there he goes.
No, he got it. Okay.
He got it. Yeah. So
saved it, but that's to put him far behind.
Yeah, he lost.
That's a costly trick to mess up.
Yeah. There's still 2 places I think he can come up with the time.
Rooster Skip.
Sorry, 3 places. So there's Rooster Skip, which is 30 seconds lost every time you fail it.
Goomba Surf.
Goomba Surf. And then there's the actual early hookshot trick. And theoretically, you don't have to lose any time on Goomba Surf. You can just waste a couple extra seconds to either do a P-Hat Clank or just beat the boss, or beat the mini-boss and get the boss key. But Goomba Surf is just, once you start, it's just, you're not stopping Goomba Surfing until it just, maybe like 3 or 4 tries in, so that could save him a couple times. But that's not hard to reset.
Aghanim, though.
Oh yeah, then he could also, Aghanim for infinite blue balls.
If Aghanim decides you're not finishing the run, you're not finishing the run.
Okay, so GreenTunic is going for, he has Boomerang now, so I guess he is going for early hookshot. I just missed it. He just did things out of order, I guess.
He did things very out of order. Actually, no. Okay, so I definitely saw him do early hookshot. Well, getting the boom. So that's why I mentioned it at the time. I completely forgot that he had done it.
You mentioned he's gonna return the ghost, and I'm like, okay, so I guess he didn't do that thing. So they're all going for early hookshot.
So
there's a buffer strategy for it. And Saga's found a non-buffer strategy for it, because he's a monster.
So we see GreenTunic's getting one of the upgrade shot. I think this is the second upgrade try now of the 3. And so yeah, all of these upgrade tries are required. So they're all kind of just finishing off miscellaneous stuff right now before they go and do the last 4 dungeons.
Yeah, because there's this.
The last
kind of out of the way now.
The last 4 dungeons kind of sync up well with particular locations, such as getting the level 2 sword.
But Cravone, you forgot Dungeon 0.
I hate Dungeon 0.
Yeah.
So, Node not picking up every rupee in that room, because it's going to respawn.
So, Color Dungeon is a bit weird. So, those rupees are stored directly in the game's RAM. They're not stored anywhere else. So, what Node is going to do is he's just going to progress until he needs to save and quit because he has to go get the boss key, which is up here. Or is it another key? What's up here? I've forgotten now. Okay, he's got 2 keys, and then the boss key's up here.
Yeah, it's boss key.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking. So he's gonna drop a bunch of powder on him. That was a boss, I guess, a mini-boss. It was something. And so the rupees there are stored in RAM. So when you hard reset your console after saving and quitting, all of those rupees respawn, and that saves like a minuscule amount of time over just grabbing that chest in D5. But it's important to do this here because it lets them get Frog Song of the Soul early. Which I don't know what frame rate the no kidding.
I missed that. You missed
that was a little bit silly.
Okay, I have to question why did he go back? Why didn't he just pick up a rupee somewhere else? He's gonna get off an enemy.
I mean, bad rupee luck, I guess. Like, I mean, as you just see GreenTunic doing a spin slash, getting like 2 drops right there. Like, wouldn't you just feel like the worst if you went through all of Color Dungeon, right, with 299 rupee and then 0 rupee drops before you got that. So here's the matching room. Sometimes you can get 2 of these in the same hole if the one on top is the right color. Doesn't matter what the rest of them are, but it's impossible. That one's actually impossible. It's really crazy hard. No one goes for it. It could save time, but we don't have any good setups for it yet. So here's a puzzle. There it goes. If you just hit all 4 corners, it's solved. If you mess it up, it's no bueno. So what tunic do you think Node's gonna go for?
I think he's gonna get the correct tunic, green.
No, so we're gonna have to rename GreenTunic for the rest of this race after he gets past that.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping he's gonna get blue because he's got blue background on his name.
I sure hope someone goes for blue.
So Node, I presume it. Yeah, Node's gone for red, I think.
Yeah. So red tunic is nice. It gives you double damage. It gives you all the effects of Piece of Power except for the running. And it used to be that it definitely saved you time over Blue Tunic. I think there was some theory saying that because of the time that you could end up losing on the D5 boss, now because we get level 2 sword earlier, it doesn't necessarily save you any time. But it also screws with your Ganon, but it makes certain things faster. So, red is definitely just kind of what everyone always did. So we have
I can't. Yeah, I definitely asked like someone why it was quicker, like a non-meme answer. I can't actually remember what they said, but
well, I do know you pick up rocks faster.
Yeah, I think that might be it, yeah, until you get the level 2 bracelet.
Yeah. But you pick up rocks faster, you do double damage, so it does make, yeah, and so you normally need hookshot to get to that sign, but we don't have that, so we just jump over it. Boots are strong, and, you can just kind of villa skip your way to victory.
Guess it makes Moldorm quicker in the final boss, as well.
Yeah,
you have to hit him like 4 times.
It does multiply with level 2 shield, so if blue did save you time, it would have to be greater than the time you lose on Moldorm and Ganon. But it does make certain things also easier, so I think technically blue is definitely the safer one to go for. It makes a couple things easier than with red tunic that are in D5 and D6, that much I know.
Red probably saves like 1 or 2 seconds. That's my prediction. I think they're like really, really close. I think it's about 1 or 2 seconds difference.
Yeah, so there's lots of flashing going on note screen as those old games just flicker between pure black and a solid screen to simulate dimmed lights.
So GreenTunic at this point is now lying to us.
Yeah, he's red tunic.
He is not GreenTunic anymore.
Red tunic.
We will now refer to GreenTunic as red tunic for the rest of this run.
I had already planned on doing that.
Yeah, committing to that.
Okay, so I'm not sure if Peak is trying to get the hole in the hole.
I think he was trying to balance one off the other.
Yeah, and it just didn't work out. So here's another hard piece that doesn't make any sense. So optimal part for Node here is to hit the A button every 44 frames, I think it is, to go the fastest. And you do that forever until you get this heart piece that is really out of the way. And the reason we get it here is because your save and quit point is at that warp hole that we kind of need to just go back to, and it's the only time that this is just out of the way, like, everywhere. Like, there might be...
This is inconvenient. You need a good save and quit point with this, because you don't want to be going back there.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe going to it, like, after D6 might make sense, but it's still not great.
Well, going to it, like, after D6, and then going to get the level 2 sword.
Yeah, like, well, you get level 2 sword, then you go up there, and then you save and quit anyway. I don't know. It's all.
This is quicker. I'm 100% sure this is quicker.
Yeah, I was like, no one's tried that, but like, it just sucks.
Because if you have to go up past the castle, it's like twice a month.
Right, I forgot that it's no, because you just have to go left. The bridge isn't there.
No, you can't go underneath the. You can't go underneath the bridge, like the main bridge.
Put the bridge out. Oh no, wait, that just opens that. Right, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. For some reason I thought that wasn't there.
You have to go all the way around.
Yeah, you have to. Okay, I forgot that it's not the bridge that doesn't spawn. It's the drawbridge is gone. He's like, oh, there's no bridge there until you open the door. That's wrong.
So the way you get into the front of the castle that we never actually do. Maybe 100% should require 5
I mean, because you don't, once you pick the slime key, so the reason why the slime key, we didn't talk about it, was a gold leaf, was because, so until you turn in the gold leaves to Richard, the game just kind of makes all of the slime keys leaves. And actually, if you leave that room before seeing the text that turns it into the slime key, it's still a leaf, and then you're kind of screwed. Until you turn in 5 leaves to Richard, and then you go back to Candlelit Castle, and then get the last leaf, and then that one's the key.
I was thinking the other day of stupid stuff you could do with the boomerang, like with the early hook shot, and that's the kind of thing that if the game had been designed with like one of the golden leaves next to the key, the place next to the key, you could have actually done that same trick to get the slime key.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Armos Maze, probably. Oh, GreenTunic takes death.
See, that would not have happened if he had Blue Tunic.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Red Tunic if he was Blue Tunic, he could have lived.
Yeah, if he was Blue Tunic, he would not have lost that time.
But Red Tunic, dead.
Red Tunic is slower.
In Red Tunic's case, that's definitely true now.
I'm now calling him should have been Blue Tunic.
Alright, so, moving on to D6, I think the longest dungeon in the run now? I think so.
Possibly.
Actually, possibly. It's either that or
I don't know, yeah, I think Dungeon 3 is quite long. There's not anything we have to collect in Dungeon 7, is there?
No, we just skip. Well, I mean, we have to get the
pillars,
best item in the
that's
game.
it. Yeah. I don't know. Dungeon 5's still a bit long because you have to get the boss key.
Oh yeah, it's I don't know. We'll count rooms. I think
I'm saying Dungeon 6 is the longest, like next to Dungeon 3, I think.
Yeah. So, fun fact about that room that Node just went through, it's a 2D platforming section, but if you just hold up and to the left, you just walk right through it. So now we have the level 2 bracelet. It lets us pick up things faster, so Red Tunic is no longer giving us any benefit other than doing double damage and making this next skip that, in the next room that Node is going to go for, slow. So here's where the arrow upgrade is, or hard, I guess. Here's where the arrow upgrade is nice. We don't need any of these.
By the Red Tunic, you mean the item, not the player, right?
Yes, the item, not the player.
Okay, so the player Red Tunic's still useful to us.
Yes, he's very useful still. Pika getting the Zora picture there. I guess he got the Zora picture late. Just had to head back down for that. As there's a lot going on, there's lots to talk about.
So the Zora
super jump.
So the Zora picture, you can only get that once you have the magnifying glass.
Right, and I think he would have already had that by now. I didn't think he was that far behind. So I think he just grabbed it instead of going back earlier.
Maybe he just forgot earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, like, people forget things.
Okay. So glad we were talking about something silly, because No didn't do the cool thing there. He did do that really hard super jump. There is a 3-pixel window where you can start that jump, and then if you do it right at the apex, you don't get stuck in the wall. That skips, like, the entire dungeon. So, Kravone, explain how you horsehead.
Well, you don't get 34th try horsehead,
okay,
that's for sure.
So
each of these... So each of these horse heads has a 50-50 chance to land heads up. You need both heads up. So you have a 1 in 4 chance each time to get correct horse heads.
Yeah, so 3 tries, that's pretty good. Average luck is like 7 tries or something like that.
I failed to see how that would be the average with a 1 in 4 chance.
Because it's never 1 in 4. Like that's the problem. It's never 1 in 4. It's always worse.
It's always worse. Because if it's better, you completely forget about it.
Yeah. No one ever gets horse heads immediately. But no one. No. But so here's Facade. His hitbox spawns before the game, just before he opens up, so you can get 3 bombs in really quickly, and then just kind of stands on his face. And since you don't get hurt by your own bombs in this game, the second your 1 bomb explodes, you just drop another bomb. Although you have to be careful you don't accidentally pick up your bomb. You know, he went back for that harp, but why didn't he just boomerang the wisp to get a fairy? Or that's a spark. Will-o-wisps are the things that look slightly the same. Over on Spice's screen.
They look similar, at least.
Yeah, they're very similar. Another thing you can hit boomerang and get.
They're both things that go around the room and annoy you. And just kill you.
Well, yeah, except the will. Okay, so Noah did a bomb trigger on the owl. It made the cutscene not happen. It saves 2 seconds if you can do it unbuffered. If you buffer it, then a buffer wastes 2 seconds. So you kind of only go for the YOLO, and if you miss it, then you lose that menu. So, or you don't have the menu because you already have the bombs out, so it doesn't matter. So now we get our good friend, the level 2 sword, which we get this cool cutscene that I don't think Noda's figured out how to skip yet, but probably give that another week.
I mean, it's a cool cutscene, but you just know if he knew how to skip, he absolutely would.
Oh, yeah, he would have.
He just doesn't like.
Like I said, he give it a week, he'll skip it. He'll find a way.
I kind of feel like give it 6 months, and this world record would be down to like 30 minutes.
You know that I don't think is possible.
They'll just like skip rooms, just here and there.
I mean,
like they'll exit D3, they're instantly in D4.
Yeah. So Noda's entering D5. You kind of just want to do this on or around when you go to D6. Although you can do D6 last, which also kind of lines up with everything. That was the old route that did D6 last. But D5 is just very inconvenient to get to at all times and has a very important item and a now incredibly obnoxious trick. To skip 3 mini-bosses and a bunch of backtracking and a really dumb jump, and it just how many horse heads is Spice
it
on?
Makes a lot of things easier as well.
How many horse heads is Spice on right now?
Nowhere near.
Okay, but it was a lot. It was enough to make GreenTunic catch up to him.
Okay.
RedTunic, sorry.
So
player names.
Node just got early hookshot, so
that was fast. So I'm pretty sure Spice is dead now.
So the way I understand that trick works is that every time the mini-boss of this dungeon actually dies, like normally he just runs away, but if you actually manage to kill him, he drops a small key. Now in that particular room, he never runs away, which you might wonder, well, why don't we get a small key? That room in particular transforms small keys into hookshot. So if you're able to manage to use the boomerang to get so that you actually technically pick up the small key in that room, it turns into the hookshot. That's how you get early hookshot.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff with it. You use the boomerang to pull it. The small key goes behind you through the transition, then you transition and land on it in like a frame or something like that. And apparently, it depends on the drops you've gotten in that room already. It can change a D value or something like that that makes it really hard to get past that. So,
well, the worst thing that can happen is that you pick up the key by accident.
Yeah, so every time, so that trick saves 1.5 minutes just doing it in general, because this dungeon is long and awful. And now you don't have to do any of it. You just go to the end, you fight Master Stalfos once, and you just win, and it's great. And no missing a hook shot. But every time you miss it, you waste, I think it's 18 seconds to retry it. But if you get the key, well, then you have to do the actual dungeon. So I guess you don't lose technically any time. You're looking at it as a 1.30 minute time save, but you lose a 1.30 minute time save or something like that.
You know, I've noticed something quite funny. So Spice is in this rest, and he's also the one that's chatting the most in chat.
God damn it, Spice. I mean, he probably, after he had that problem with early hookshot earlier, I think he's phoning it in now.
Spice is neck and neck with GreenTunic.
Definitely.
I mean RedTunic. Yeah.
Should have been.
Wow, I almost messed up there.
No just got. So this boss is the reason why RedTunic sucks. So it has invincibility frames that happen longer when you have Red Tunic, which is why when doing like the any % routes in this and you have Piece of Power in here, you want to get hit 3 times to lose it before you fight this boss. You can get 4 hits. It's very, very, very tight to get 4 hits with Red Tunic. And 3-cycling it is terrible, and then you can pull a fake out of the wall, and it's just no fun. They roll around and explode.
I can't wait to see Red Tunic get a 3-cycle on it.
2-cycle.
No, a 3-cycle with it coming out the wall as well.
Save time with Blue Tunic.
Would it save time if you had Blue Tunic?
So we're gonna see the I think this is the first use of Mambo, or no, second use of Mambo. To Mambo all the way back to Mambo's Pond. That saves a whole bunch of backtracking, so we can start working our way up towards D7, and it's not the second worst trick in the game, which makes me sad because I really hate this trick.
So both Spice and Green Tunic get Red Tunic getting hook shot. Keep forgetting we changed his name. Oh, and the small key respawns in that room as well. Yeah,
because you didn't collect that room's small key. So it's just like, well, I guess
give you another one.
it doesn't mark it as collected when you obviously collect it in not that room because you're not there. So that makes sense. But that trick is very hard, and none of our runners have messed it up yet. There's still a chance for PikaPals too. I'm hoping he doesn't because it feels really bad when you mess it up. Because this dungeon is awful, and then you're compounding it with the fact that you have Red Tunic, and it makes it worse. Because it makes a lot of the setups with Master Stalfos harder, and Node didn't go for obstacle skip that time, and is a bad person.
The other thing with that trick is that Spice just got hit to the surface.
Okay, Green Tunic, please!
Red Tunic.
Red Tunic, try to go for hookshot jumps there. It's faster and swaggier, but it's frame perfect and hard.
Spice went for it and missed.
Oh my god.
He went for it again.
So there's a prelude into Rooster Skip. So when you shoot a hook shot against a wall, you have 1 frame that you can do an action out of. And you can jump. And then when you land on like basically all these pits have corners where you can kind of quote unquote stand, you can act and shoot a hook shot. Node went for the buffered method. It's a lot safer. You just line the edge of the hookshot up with your body. You do a map buffer. That's 4 frames. And then you buffer a jump out of the map, and it works every time. Makes it much nicer. But you lose time for every single one of those buffers, but as long as you don't, I think it's if you have 15 buffers, then if you had gone for bufferless and messed up, it's slower, but it's something like that.
So if you're just joining and wondering why Node is so far ahead of everyone, so Spice basically had a really, really bad early boomerang. I think that's what we call that trick.
Early hookshot.
Well,
oh man, no.
It's part of early hookshot.
Red Tunic was so close to getting the 2-cycle there. If he was like a pixel back when he pulled him out, he would have gotten it.
That would have been funny.
That would have been. That was almost so good.
You see, he was so good that should have been Blue Tunic.
Yeah, should have been Blue Tunic.
Would have saved time there.
Would have saved time. So yeah, Node is also just crazy good at this. Held a record for a little bit. Now I believe Sensei has it at 1 hour 18 minutes. Saga's right behind that, and I think Node is 3rd place, I want to say.
I mean, we're just having, just France is invading the top 100 board.
There's the one German defender that's kind of up there, but...
There's a bit of pressure on, it's like, I've had pressure from Saga saying, you need to run so that there's 4 French people at the top. I'm like, do you really think I'm gonna top the leaderboard?
Okay, so, in case you missed it, and I'm sorry if you did, Node just got Mirror Shield. That's the only time you'll ever see it, is during the save and quit animation that he does when he pulls out of the chest, and I guess every time he menus.
You might see it in this menu.
Yeah, but
it'll probably be around where the ocarina is. That's where useless items are kept.
So, if you remember, if you ever played oh my god, that is the swaggiest way to bomb trigger that. I've never seen that. That's
never seen
good.
that before.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. So,
that was perfect.
Normally the way that Dungeon 7 works, you're supposed to go all the way around and up and down and carry this ball around from the smash that like you normally see on the Smasher and throw it into these pillars. But since they're animations, and there's lots of pits that you can drop bombs into, and a lot of transitions and all this other stuff, you just bomb trigger all these animations and skip having to do any of that. What Node did was the coolest bomb trigger I've ever seen, where he put a bomb down to the wall that you have to blow up anyway, and then the frame it exploded dropped a bomb into the pit and triggered it. And he's not going for Goomba Surf.
That's the kind of thing Sagas would come up with.
He probably did.
It probably was Sagas.
So he did that really hard P-Hat clank. It is more consistent than RNG Goombas. It's 15 seconds slower, I think. So now we're gonna fight Evil Eagle. And because he's saving quit, he can do a cool quick kill on this boss. And it used to be way easier when we did D8 first. Where you shoot the hook shot, where you use the fire rod to shoot it down, but basically your goal is to line up Evil Eagle's hitbox with the I can't hear it, so I can't tell if he's getting it. You line up its hitbox with the side of the ladder, so you can still shoot the hook shot down without it clanking. And let's see, Spice is having some. He's doing bufferless Rooster Skip. Makes it.
Getting it.
Nice. Okay. And then basically when Evil Eagle leaves the top of the screen, and you've saved and quit for some reason, you can shoot your. He's doing the reverse Rooster Skip.
As I said that, I was like, is he gonna do reverse? I'm sure he heard me.
What?
Oh my god, he actually did it. Is he gonna? There's no point in doing it.
It's slower.
There's actually no point in doing it.
Wasted a ton of time there. Okay, he's definitely just swagging it out.
It would only be quicker if he was going to D8 off.
Yeah.
That's a pointless bit of swag.
It would be faster, but
it's just completely pointless.
Yeah.
But we love it. Like we love to see something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, so to talk about that, let's see. PikaPals is going for the Rooster Skip. Okay, so that should be good. Map buffer there. Jump. And that was a frame early. I think you should have done a map buffer there, because that was 4 away. Yeah. You can save some time by trying to figure out exactly how many frames there are if you're doing the buffered method, switching between the start menu and all that stuff.
Oh my god, yes, Spice, yeah,
Spice
just don't do that.
Time.
Never do that.
You have the hook shot. That's a waste of time. Unbelievably swag as hell, especially if you get it first try.
I mean,
if you get it first try, I'm pretty sure it's faster. So that's another trick that Node did a little bit ago. You open the save and quit menu when you're in free fall and you have full control of Link, so you can make that jump and not lock yourself into the wall. I think it is faster if you get it first try, but
it's faster if you get it first try. But okay, so I do that in Rando as well, and I have never ever gotten that first try.
I've gotten it first try if I have the mushroom, which is unfortunate. That
if you have the mushroom, yeah, but
yeah, Link's Awakening gets the mushroom, and it does all these swag strats because the mushroom makes all of these tricks free. All the pit transitions on all of the pit jumps.
Invincibility there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we wouldn't be able to use mushroom because we still need to use one more upgrade try. Well, Spice needs to do one more upgrade try after this, so he needs the powder.
So, first, flame skip. So normally that flame knocks you all the way back, but if you're booting while clipping into the wall, the flame won't knock you back far enough that you can use your iframes to go through it. You could also skip it if you were just playing the game casually and you walked into it with medicine while medicine is refilling all of your hearts. You can't take damage or take any knockback, so it makes that work. Yes, as you see Spice doing that room.
Yeah,
GreenTunic's also going for the P-Hat clank. See if any of them go for Spice. Do Goomba Surf. I know you're listening.
Yeah, do Goomba. I have to say, I mean, Spice is doing a lot of showboating here.
Yeah,
usually showboating works better when you're actually ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it because. So here's another crazy
Oh
trick
no,
that
not
is
this
Sagas' fault. So if you line yourself up perfectly with a pixel, and then you put hookshot on B and feather on A, because if you do it the other way around, the button priority is wrong and it won't work. You'll like jump you'll like quarter jump off the ground, and then Spice is fighting the mini boss.
He's fighting the mini boss, and then he's gonna do Goomba Surf.
Oh my god!
Just watch.
Spice, please.
So GreenTunic is now ahead of Spice.
Yeah, maybe
PikaPals is.
So
Oh no! He wrong warped. Spice wrong warped by accident.
Oh my god!
He jumped into the transition.
Oh my god!
I've normally that spits you out into Dungeonette. I've never seen that kind of
I haven't
wrong
seen
warp
that
before.
one. No,
Off that.
we're laughing
I've
at this,
never
we
seen
can't
that
even-
one before.
Can't even explain the cool stuff that Node is doing, because maybe that's what Spice is trying to do. Just get us to talk about him, even though he's in last.
I can't even explain what just happened there with
Pika's
Spice.
going
I've
for
not
Goomba
seen
Surf.
that one.
So, Goomba Surf, you're supposed to clip yourself into that wall, the minimum amount that you can get a super jump. I think PikaPals is... it's really hard to do, it's very precise.
He gave
He's
up.
lined up with it now, and then if the Goomba cooperates, and you get a perfect height super jump, you skip having to do the boss key, and... Okay, so we got all the strategies here, and there we go. So there's Goomba Surf. Congratulations. Node is fighting Cue Ball. Here's a room that no one messes up unless you're Cravone.
Actually, everyone messes this up.
Everyone has messed this up maybe once or twice. Cravone has a really good one. It's a great video of him doing it, where he exits the room after messing it up, and then falls into the lava and dies after being bad at fighting Cue Ball. Bamboo, please post that in the chat somewhere.
I forgot that was even a thing.
It's because you made that video about how everyone does that room, so they posted that in response. This hookshot quick kill is actually really hard, that they're all going for. That's why you saw GreenTunic do with bomb arrows. Doesn't matter, you don't need arrows anymore after you, because one, if you're fighting Deathel, you can just kill him one shot with a boomerang, although your boomerang's hitbox oscillates. So, unless you line yourself up right, it will never hit Deathel in the eye, and it's silly. But there's Hothead. Hothead has random HP. And now that everyone is done memeing, maybe we can talk about other things. But okay, so I'll talk about how that quick kill works on D7, because I never got finished with it. So when he leaves the screen, if you save and quit, his hitbox, his Y-coordinate moves to the bottom. And so what ends up happening is, since your hookshot can go beyond the normal Y-coordinates, it can hit it, and its X-coordinate stays the same until it respawns on screen. And for some reason, if you've save and quit, you can shoot below that, but if you haven't, it'll just bonk off the bottom. So in the other categories, you kill them with bombs, because your arrow routing is super tight. I don't know, maybe Spice will give us a Marin cutscene. I hope he doesn't, but if he does it, it'd be
I
funny.
feel like he probably will. And because we're saying that, he definitely will, because he can hear it.
I mean, yeah, just because we're
I mean,
trying to
he's
get him to do all
listening
the
to
silly things.
Yeah, he's...
Although,
Well,
is tie-breaking done by tie? I don't know how tie-breaking is done. Although, since it's Swiss, thanks, Spice! So Spice, for the memes, wasted 40 seconds for us all.
He's wasting more than that.
I really wish that he had done the jump to the other side and hookshot it so you get to watch Marin just walk across air, but whatever,
I mean,
so,
I mean,
we're hearing his sound.
Spice, if you tie for 8th, this is counting against you.
This is great. This is great for
I mean-
the viewers. I'm glad we have
I
this
mean-
first race.
I mean, the question is though, like whether the wrong warp was accidental. Like that
I'm
would
100% sure it was
I mean,
accidental, but there is under no
because-
circumstance it should be
yeah,
bad.
I think that was accidental.
I mean, yeah,
I suppose he'll be let off for that.
if he wasn't...
I mean, he didn't
could have
gain
been that he wasn't
advantage. From...
comfortable with Goomba Surf, and that P-Hat jump is really hard. Normally we wouldn't be talking with Node Scream, but we're getting Spice's sound, so...
We've just forgotten about Node now. Spice is just taking all the attention.
Node, unless he is blue ball...
Node is winning.
I'm gonna say about 10 minutes. Like, unless he gets blue balls for 10 minutes, is going to finish this race with like a 21 or a 22. I think it's 22. Oh yeah, no, that's not. That's not 8. That's a 9.
So PikaPals is now ahead of Spice.
Entirely Spice's fault. Death'll fight. So if you mash bombs really here, you'll skip the start of this cutscene, which Node gets, that saves 10 seconds. And it's going for Blob Quick Kill, which apparently is super easy if you get the tech skip. I didn't know about that, so I always miss it when I tech skip. You just bonk into the wall and you line up perfectly, and you just leave your sword out, and you'll kill him. He did do some damage to the blob, but not enough to kill it, so he's got to bring out his powder. Maybe he doesn't do any powder or damage, and I just misheard what happened on the GDQ stream and always made an assumption. So here's the last piece of RNG in the run. Well, depending on what they do for the next part. So the way Ganon works in this game is...
Aghanim
works in this game is he always fires 2 blue balls, and then he has a 50% chance, or 2 regular balls, and he has a 50% chance on every throw after that to fire a regular shot.
And it's uncapped.
It's uncapped, so it's just...
You could be there forever, theoretically.
Yeah.
It's not like A Link to the Past, where I think it's like the maximum you can get is 14.
Yeah, it's something like that.
You could have it endlessly. Like I think the world record is currently tied between 2 people for 17.
Yeah. So it's pretty bad, Aghanim.
This is actually he's getting quite a bit of bad luck here. I mean, Spice could catch up.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he
there's
can't.
Aghanim down. So there's no way he was ever gonna catch up. So here's Moldorm. So since you have the level 2 sword and red tunic, he goes down really quickly. So a lot of people have to test their muscle memory. So let's see what Node is doing. Okay, so he's not going for the Death'll skip, which is something you can do. It's very hard. Sagas came up with a very swag strategy for it, which involves killing Ganon the second he spawns the second bat, and then blowing into your ocarina, and that skips having to wait for Death'll opening his eyes and this text box. But yeah, one shot of the boomerang, he's dead, and the second he reaches the top of the stairs, that'll be time, and Node will be taking victory in what is apparently our first race, because I can't read a schedule. I thought there were other races that had been completed. I think those are actually for, like, the showcases, though.
Yeah, so Node finishes with a time of 1 hour 32.5.
Yeah, that's a very good time.
Yeah.
Especially, how bad his Villa skip was. He lost like a minute on his Villa skip.
It was quite bad,
really
yeah.
Bad. And, PikaPals, unfortunately, messing up the fire. This room is also, because now we have level 2 sword here, it's quicker to do the Vire second or something like that, or this first before going to get the heart piece, the final heart piece that's up there. If you mess up the super jump, which kind of happens, go around and get it. Spice, I think, has retaken the lead because he's dealt with Cue Ball, he's dealt with your Hamiltonian path rooms. Here's Cue Ball for the last time on PikaPals screen. You just kind of spin around. He dies in 2 hits, which is great. Cue Ball sucks. And so Node is going to his last save and quit. Doesn't have the last heart piece, but he does have 12 of 12 pictures. That is the only thing required to show proof, because it's obvious when you have full heart containers that's there. So he did satisfy the requirements for 100% with... He's in a dungeon, so he can't see his dungeon keys, but he definitely has those. You can't get into the dungeons otherwise without wrong warping.
I wonder if Spice is going to go for a disc loot here.
You know, I thought I locked myself in a rando. So there is a frame that you can kill Hothead on where he will get stuck, and
he's trying to do it. He is actually trying to do it.
Oh my god! And so if you kill him on the right frame, he will get stuck.
There he is.
And so he has to hit him. No, I
don't know.
He didn't get it. So his one form, it looked like he got it. He'll just stay there in that form. And if you hit him 64 times with the fire rod, he'll die. And it just happened.
Shouts the disc loot.
That happened to me once randomly, and I was really confused, and then apparently that was named after Disclude, so...
It was named after Disclude because he did it in the middle of a race. There's this famous quote from him, which I won't repeat here, but it's infamous. As you could hear just the anguish in his voice.
I wasn't paying attention. How many Wang Boys did we get?
I
don't think I saw any.
I also have not paid attention.
There's been too much stuff going on. This is now a tight race between Spicefather and PikaPals.
Spicefather. How have we ended up with a tight race between Spicefather and PikaPals?
Because Spicefather wasted 40 seconds and then a lot more time and wrong warp and all other sorts of good things.
PikaPals was crushing him in the last few minutes, though.
Yeah, and the PikaPals just, I guess, lost some more time on Hothead. Spice could have been ahead so many times, but he was trying to, like, lock his game up on Hothead. Like, I don't understand. So what's P-Dog's PB in this?
Oh my god, are they trying to sub P-Dog? Okay, P-Dog's PB is at 1 hour 28 minutes.
Okay,
I
don't know if they have sub P-Dog.
That's the important thing.
Shh, the song is playing. Okay.
So, Red Tunic finishing it with a 126.15.
Sub P-Dog, so it's free.
If he had Blue Tunic, it would have been sub 126.
Yeah, he would have gotten a 125 with that if he had.
He would have gotten 125 with Blue Tunic. Chat thinks we were muted.
No, we were. We
were quiet in respect.
Yeah,
so actually, GreenTunic just PB'd by 2 seconds.
Oh man, that would have been even better if he got.
That would have been too good if it was.
Spice is going for Blob kill, Blob quick kill. It is RNG if you get it. Blob is going to bounce. It's going to swing his sword out. If it doesn't get it, it does 1/3 of the Blob's health. Did not get it for either one of them. Didn't see if Red Tunic got it. But we don't need this powder anymore. It's just here. I don't know if they run out of it on like this fight. Does that technically violate 100%?
What powder?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think this is gonna come down to blue balls and whether or not one of them goes for Death'll Skip. No one has so far, which has made me a little bit sad. So Spice, YOLO it. The first time I ever did Death'll Skip Saga, it was like 2 AM French time for Sagas. He explained it to me, and then I got it. I haven't gotten it since then, but it's free because you can just do it when someone explains it to you when they're exhausted and can't figure it out.
So, we've got a question about Node not having collected everything. So he has to proof at the end of the run, but the last save and quit he did is at in D8. So we're counting for the heart piece that he's gonna get in D8 and the heart piece he got at the top of D8, which gives him a heart container.
Yeah, he finished the game with all the heart containers. So doesn't look like anybody's going for Death'll Skip.
Because the alternative would be just to get people to save and quit, and when they enter the egg.
Spice, having learned, did not. Yeah, as you can see, the boomerang hitbox oscillates around, gets it. As you can see, PikaPals is having the world's greatest RNG here. Death'll has not opened his eye yet. For the entire time that Spice was fighting Death'll, just did not open his eye. And Spice was just missing.
PikaPals is gonna PB.
And he's gonna get sub 130.
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So Spice finishing with a 129.14. And PikaPals with a 129.25. So PikaPals PB'd by, what was that, 26 seconds?
26 seconds, at least from their
Not too
race
bad.
time.
Yeah.
That's their
Well,
SRL PB.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did he accidentally super swim? Oh wait, oh, Spice super swam and out of bounds. I didn't see him super swim.
Wait, when was that?
I want to know.
At what point did he super swim?
When did he super swim?
Okay, so he's
during
proofing.
early magnifying lens. But okay, so the race is done.
During.
Congratulations to GreenTunic and Node for winning their respective races.
Yeah. If Spice actually got as a result of Super Swim, that's probably a DQ then.
I mean, he could still transition up and jump to get out of the Super Swim.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, unless he used it to get the magnifying lens, in which case then it's just over. Because we have super swimming banned, even though I think technically, does that count as going well, out of bounds, or is that
it's just straight up banned. Super swim is just a straight up banned glitch.
Okay, it's not a DQ for super swim, but yeah, then he wrong warped.
Yeah, he wrong warped as well. I have to question. Because
he didn't time for both the super swim.
He didn't gain any advantage from either of them.
Yeah, he didn't gain any advantage.
I think he should be okay.
For the sake of the tournament, maybe. But yeah, they were all sub 90, which is good.
So it could matter with tie breaks. By the end of this Swiss, I think it's the top 8 runners go towards the next round, which is a knockout round. And so times are used for tiebreakers. So this actually could matter.
Yes.
So yeah. Do we do interviews?
Yeah, we're doing interviews. We just got to get our interviewees up in here.
Yeah.
So far,
how much time have we got for interviews?
I don't know. No one told us.
I don't have the schedule up.
Let me look. We got some time. Well, we got one person. Let's welcome PikaPals, who had a pretty good run. Bring PikaPals in here. He's ready. How's it going, PikaPals?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
Congrats on the PB.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How'd you feel about your run overall?
It was terrible early and then picked up after that.
Yeah, so, it seemed everybody, did you spend, because I know the last time you raced, which was only like 2 weeks ago or something like that, you were still using the old route. I guess you spent a lot of time learning the, I guess, most new run, the most documented new route.
Most new.
No, I was using this same route 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I was lucky and had no time to learn the game until after the new route was finalized, so...
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
well, it'll be a new route next week by this rate.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's been good.
Actually, Pika, have you shown your item screen from D8?
Not yet. I was just gonna let the credits run through first.
Alright.
Yeah, and pull up into here.
Yeah, Spice.
I hear Spice's run was fun.
It sure was. He gave us everything.
It was interesting.
So we got both our second place finishes. Both of them here, welcoming in Spicefather.
Hey guys.
Yeah. So your run had some things going on.
Yeah, it's a new category.
Okay.
Called Hundo, Wrong Warp, and Out of Bounds Allowed.
on one screen in particular, right?
2 screens.
Two screens.
Three, dude.
Oh,
So I did the out of bounds on the D7 mini boss, and I also did Blano skip after the fact.
wait, but you
What?
fought Blano!
Wait, you did
This guy,
Blano skip?
Blano skip.
Yeah, I did. I got the fire rod. I went down, did the Blano skip.
We didn't even catch that.
Was your goal to because that also wastes time.
Are you trying to? Did you try and get yourself disqualified after that super swim?
Okay, so the run was pretty decent up until the point where I got to early magic lens, and then I did my accidental super swim, and I sort of figured like this is like I can't actually submit this. This is not a real run, and for most other people, I'd do a serious like 5 minutes ahead of me. So I sort of just started having fun, and it snowballed a little bit.
I mean, it's sure we didn't even get to talk about him wrecking everyone because of all the things you were doing for the memes, because they were just so much fun to talk about. So
Yeah,
he's definitely accomplished that.
nice pointless reverse rooster skip. It's like someone else I know.
Yeah,
The best part about it was
way to have fun there.
yeah, you got it, and then you just ran into the next pit you could.
Well, I mean, the point was never to save or lose time or anything. It was just doing reverse rooster skip, and I did it so I could fall into pits as I wanted to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know if we have any other. Okay, so we don't have interviews with Red Tunic, as we so aptly call him, who would have saved time with Blue Tunic.
Yeah, he would have been sub 126 with Blue Tunic.
And it doesn't look like you're-
That death was easily worth like 14 seconds, and then the 3 cycle.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Node is going to be here either, so just you. So just you guys. So if you were to do this run again, what do you think you should practice a little bit more?
Well, let's go with Pika first.
Let's go Pika first.
I don't know. I need to learn how to buy bombs before going to get powder. That's a good one.
Yeah, I saw that. I was a little bit confused. And Spicefather, which part of your run do you think you should learn from the most?
I think I know what he's gonna say.
Hothead.
Were you trying to go for
Did you get it,
the meme lock on hot? Oh my god!
Did you actually get it?
I did.
Wow,
I got him stuck in place, but because I'd already hit him a bit, he went down quickly. I didn't even have time to like take some hits in the lava for the memes.
Dang.
Oh my god! And so that were you doing the mini boss for swag, or was that because you didn't want to do the P-hat jump and Goomba Surf is just an RNG nightmare?
That was sort of an homage to Cravone.
Oh, okay.
I don't even do that
In
anymore.
the tournament last year, he told us that he had this 6 strat for D7, and I was so excited about it, and he just did the mini boss.
It was a pretty sick strat.
I mean, it's just that no one expects. Come on.
Oh man.
I was gonna do Goomba Surf, but they didn't move for me, so I figured.
You just gave up.
Yeah, we got one person
I had to use my key too.
You did the super jump when it wasn't even there and just gave up.
Well, I had to show that I could do the super jump.
Yeah, PikaPals got the Goomba Surf, so I think we showed off all the crazy, silly things other than Death'll Skip, which is very hard.
Does Node not do that?
He didn't. I think the only 2 people we'll probably see doing it are Say and definitely Sagas, because Sagas doesn't know what being safe means or not rerouting the game immediately before the race means. So if anybody sees Sagas on the schedule, make sure.
Yeah. Can we maybe for the next one, like, can we get Sagas to sort of like write down the route for commentators before he does it, so at least we know what he's doing?
No,
I don't think
Because
we can do
no one
that.
knows what he's doing at any time.
They
Even if
learn
he
with
does
us. Yeah.
If he writes it down today, by tomorrow it'll be a different route.
Yeah.
I mean, writing it down before the race, he'll just come up with a new one beforehand. So
Yeah.
He'll just come up with a new one on the fly.
He'll be writing it down and he'll realize that doing one thing before the other thing is faster, and he'll just erase the entire thing and just YOLO it in the race. Make sure to
Somebody's
watch
doing
that.
D3 after D7.
Yeah, everyone should watch that. Just so.
I sort of feel Vlak is in, like, sort of similar to that in the sense as well. Vlak's in the tournament, isn't he?
I hope so. They're both very good.
Yeah, they're both good. God, this is going to be a great tournament with, like, Saga, Seisei, Node, Vlak,
yeah,
Bamboo,
with all the places to save time, or hard tricks now that are in Hundo that weren't before. It's a much more interesting race in that someone doesn't get ahead on Villa Skip and then the lead never stops happening, or just Rooster Skip was the only place you were going to lose every time if you moved everything perfectly. So a double frame perfect input was the difference, or horse heads, like that's no fun. But when there's all these hard tricks, it's really, really good to see that.
What I was surprised about and sort of a bit glad about in this race as a commentator is that everyone used the same route.
Man, that must be a first.
It must be a first for Hundo.
Definitely was the first time. Every time I've cast, everyone's kind of used a slightly different route, or when they started adding mushroom jumps into...
Then you have no idea who's ahead at any point.
Okay. I don't know how much more time we have for interviews or what's next on the speed gaming schedule.
Yeah, I think our time slots until 2 p.m.
Okay.
So you got like another 13.
Okay. Guess we could kill another 13 minutes unless they want to kick us off the air. You could show off some more silly tricks or something like that, but don't really have much left to talk about, I guess.
Not particularly, no. I mean, I'm seeing Sagas ask when is hook shotless. Hook shotless Rooster Skip. Probably as soon as you start doing it.
Yeah.
As soon as Saga starts doing it, that's when it's a thing.
The second we can route in late mushroom, that's when everything is good. So someone figure out how to route in like D5 mushroom that's faster than other strats, and I'll be happy because mushroom is the best meme ever, and the fact that you can just completely soft lock your game with no way of recovering it is always fun. But I think we're just gonna wrap it up and call it here. Congratulations to the both of you for finishing your races, PikaPals and Spicefather. Congratulations to Node and
Green.
Congratulations to Node and Red Tunic.
Congratulations to Should Have Been Blue Tunic.
The artist, the runner formerly known as GreenTunic. And I think that's going to do it for us. I am Alpha 5.
I'm Kavone.
And I guess we'll see you at the next race.
Bye.